Today on the channel, we're back again with another G.I. Joe retro action figure unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we got the leader of the Dreadnoks. We got the master of disguise himself. We've got Zartan.
The spirit of Olympian Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another G.I. Joe retro figure unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we've got the master of disguise. We've got Zartan. But for all your Zartan needs that are not Walmart or Hasbro Pulse exclusives, make sure you're hitting up Entertainment Earth. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10% on all in-stock items, and anything over $59 does ship free. And like I said, Zartan, a Hasbro Pulse Walmart exclusive. I did unbox Storm Shadow, his kind of stablemate, I guess we'll call it, in this wave here. I did unbox that one on the channel, so if you missed that review, go back and check that out. And unfortunately, a lot of stuff we talked about, the packaging with Storm Shadow, we got the same issues here with Zartan, as the whole top was folded over for me. Very, very terrible to get that from Hasbro Pulse. I did talk about the breakdown of why it's not okay from Hasbro Pulse, but why it could be okay, at least temporarily, via Walmart. So check out those thoughts over in that video here. But of course, we're going to do this video like we do all the other videos here on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. So without further ado, let's see what old Zartan is up to. And of course, we'll do some Zartan comparisons later on in this video. But how about that? There's some old school packaging. I really wish they would have went one extra step and gave us the old Swamp Skier, a little vehicle pack. I think that would have been a really cool one. And it would have really set this one off as being very different from the other two versions. It is still a little bit different, but that would have really been a good one. And that Swamp Skier isn't the most complicated vehicle. So I think that would have been a good look for Walmart. Would have been a nice Walmart store exclusive. Would have got people buzzing. Would have got people driving into Walmart and Hasbro Pulse, of course, to pick that one up. But it is what it is. We got Zartan right there. A lot of stuff we've seen before. Classic G.I. Joe logo. Love the Starburst background. Love Zartan, of course. On the back, there it is. Big old file card. Talk about a chef's kiss. Absolutely love that. You get the stablemate down there of Storm Shadow, then the last series of Destro and Gung Ho. UPC's warnings, all that fun stuff. But let's see what it says about our old friend Zartan here. His role, mercenary. Specialty, infiltration. Secondary specialty, disguise. Birthplace, unknown. Zartan is a master of makeup and disguise. A ventriloquist. I mean, they need to really talk more about his ventriloquist background. I would love to see him with his own little puppet, something like that. I think that would be something for maybe the future. He's also a linguist, an acrobatic contortionist, and a practitioner of several mystical martial arts. Oh, the mystic martial arts are the best martial arts, I think. I love those ones. But Zartan looking good, but looking like a lot like we've seen in the past. But let's get him out of the package. Let's see what all the fuss is about. You know, everybody's always fussing about a Zartan. Everybody's fussing for Zartan. Makes all the sense in the world. Bam, see you later. A favorite of the G.I. Joe days, Cobra days, Dreadnok days, of course. Bam, see you later. Goodbye, Spider-Man style. And we got the old Cobra insignia stand. Absolutely love this. Like I said with Storm Shadow. Give this for sale at Hasbro Pulse. I want all my classified figures on a stand like this. That would be amazing. If not, go to Ringside Collectibles, I guess. Use discount code Kyle. Save 10%. The old Zartan in the package here. Zartan, a favorite of many over the years, myself included. It's funny, as a kid, I guess, I don't know, my brain maybe just worked differently, or maybe you were in the same brainwave patterns as I was, but I didn't realize Zartan was bald. I was kind of, I knew it. It's like I thought it was a weird hairdo, or it was like kind of a weird hair he had. That's just what I assumed. But then you kind of see it and you're like, okay, that's not hair, but you just kind of assume it's hair, and he was never bald in the cartoon. I don't know, really messed with young Kyle's mind and old Kyle's mind too. But see you later, goodbye. To me, still to this day, Zartan is not a guy I think of when I think of bald guys. I don't think of Zartan. I always think of this as being his hair, but we know that isn't the case here. But let's break this down. No extra hands here, but we do get the extra mask. I believe it was the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, Pulse exclusive, whatever you want to call it. That Zartan came with a few different faces, including this one. But this is the iconic face. And we've had a few different Zartans over the years, as we know, and we're going to compare those right here. So my thought process is I may display him with this head, make him feel a little bit different than some of his Zartan brethren. But I always like this one. It just looks a little weird with the whited out eyes. I think if I saw some guy coming at me and he had just totally whited out eyes, I'd say, okay, what's up with this guy? I'm going to call Jesse Ventura Turtle. Hold on. You stay right here. I'm calling Jesse up. And Jesse, we need to get down to the bottom of this.
Wonder if they're watching your every move. Cell phones, internet, surveillance. Think about it.
Jesse would come back at me and he'd say, Kyle, I think you're dealing with a reptilian or possibly Zartan, the Master of Disguise. And I think that's what we'd figure out right there. But looking good. I like the old painter's goatee here, all of this, but we've seen this before. But like I said, I probably will end up using that. We do get Zartan's patented backpack, and I believe, if I remember right, it's been a while, but I think this does open up. If I can figure it out, there you go. Opens up very nicely. You put that mask in there, that faceplate, whatever you want to call it, you put that in there. Nice place to store it. That's one thing about these classified figures and retro line figures, all the same kind of thing. You can store everything on the character. I absolutely do love that. Unfortunately, no monkey's paws, none of that kind of stuff, but you do got the spots for them over here if you wanted to. But we didn't get them with this version of Zartan. So, but it is backpack, plugs into the back, usual G.I. Joe style. Get a beautiful blaster pistol here, very Zartan-esque. This is what I picture him shooting in the cartoon, of course. Looking nice there, all in black. And then you get the black and silver blade. Of course, him living out in the bayou or whatever with the Dreadnoks in their cabin and stuff. He's got this thing ready to go. He's going to slice and dice somebody up. Or maybe an alligator or something like that. But a nice one there. And of course, these do store on the backpack like I did say. Now we get down to Zartan. Of course, we get Zartan's famous hood, hairpiece, whatever you want to call it. It is right here. It is in nice brown, kind of a maroonish brown almost. But of course, it just slides over Zartan's head and fits on him. And once you put that on him, it completes that Zartan look. It looks like the guy that killed Serpentor, if you remember the comic books back in the day. Of course, it's always interesting to hear people about G.I. Joe. The majority of the people I've met in my life knew G.I. Joe first from the cartoons. They love the cartoons. They were all about the cartoons. But I've met a few people that, yeah, I saw it a little bit, but I didn't really follow the cartoons. I just was in the comics. And that was just always very foreign to me, as I wanted to be into the comics, but it was so kamikaze for me as a little kid going to the grocery stores where I would have got the comics at the time, when I was really little watching G.I. Joe, and they weren't always there, or it'd be like missing issues and be, okay, here's part 1, and then I'd see part 4, but I never saw 2 and 3, so it was a little too hard for a little kid back in the day to get into that kind of stuff. But Zartan was a big deal in the cartoon, also a big deal in the comics, of course. But the mask does fit, or I should say the hood fits right over there. Of course, you got that scarf going on for Zartan. It is removable. Pop his head off if you want to. Of course, head is removable. Head, back, forth, side to side. Plenty of movement there. You do got the butterfly shoulders. You do got the bicep cut. Arms do go all the way around. You do got the shoulder pads that will move out of the way for the arm, which is always nice. Double jointed pinless elbows, playing the hits here. Got the nice forearm guard. Up and down hand, trigger hand there for old Zartan. Looking good. Ab crunch, of course. Side to side, back and forth. Now, I don't believe this one changes color. I might go put him in the freezer for a little bit, see if he changes color. If he does, I'll show some pictures of him changed color. If he doesn't change color, you're going to know it didn't happen because I didn't show pictures. So there you go right there. Just got that nice Dreadnok belt buckle right there. Something out of Venom, it almost looks like, if you guys know the old Venom band back in the day. Shout out to Cronus. Big fan of the channel, I'm sure. You got the big old Zartan splits like you wouldn't believe. Drop down hips, of course. Thigh cut. Double jointed knees. And then you get the boot cut. Ankles back, forth, side to side. Of course, he's got all of his protection going on in his thighs. He's got his ankles protected, his shins protected, his knee pads protected, because I believe he was a catcher at one time. Rumor has it, somebody fact check that if they want to, but I heard he did miss out of a spot on the Oakland A's back in the day. Of course, beat out by legendary Terry Steinbach. Yes, Terry Steinbach getting that catcher position. And I think it worked out okay for the A's, so they made the right choice there. What do we got going on here? We do got some spots on his belt here where I guess you could hang those monkey paws, but once again, you don't get the monkey paws with him, but you do got a spot to store your knife on the back if you're so inclined. Boy, that's a tight fit into that. There we go. Can I slide it in? But that is a very tight fit for that knife, but it will go in there. Now, the big difference here, I believe, is the color difference on some of the padding here. It's all a nice blue color, where before it's some different colors, and we're going to grab those right now. But let's first see if he fits on a ringside stand. Yes, he does. Of course, use discount code Kyle. Save 10% if you need to, but he also fits, of course, on the stand he comes with. Looking good right there. So always do appreciate a stand with a figure. Like I said, give us these stands. It would be great to have G.I. Joe and Cobra ones from Hasbro Pulse. Let's make that happen. But let's pull out a few of these other Zartans here. You get the first version of Zartan, a very cool figure. One I was very excited about. One I'm still excited about here all these years later. Year later, what is time, as we say. But very similar, but very different. Just color difference, hood cover differences, things like that. It's definitely similar, but different. This has that more iconic skin tone, kind of that peachy tan color, where this is a pretty pale color on this version of Zartan. And then this one, my basement is always cold. It is always absolutely freezing down here. In the summertime, it's too cold. In the wintertime, it's too hot. That's basements for you, I guess. But it's always freezing down here, and this is the color change Zartan. And he's not quite blue, but he's well on his way because it is cold. It's probably like a permanent 65 degrees down here come spring and summertime, which isn't terrible, but man, some days I feel like I can see my breath doing this review. Maybe you can from time to time, but definitely a good one here. A lot of similarities, different accessories in a lot of these. Of course, this exclusive one had every accessory under the sun, including the bow and arrow. These two pretty much share the same accessories, except this one does not have the monkey paws. The new one we just unboxed, this one does. But if for whatever reason you want to mix them back and forth, you can very easily do that if that is your thing you want to do there. But looking good old Zartan, the old master of disguise. My plan is to display one with my Dreadnoks once we get all those guys, one with Cobra Commander, and then maybe one with Serpentor on different shelves is my long game plan. We'll see what happens with that one. Of course, might as well bring out Storm Shadow here as a friend in arms. They mailed together all the way from the Hasbro offices, so good to have these guys together out of the package again. Gotta say, I do absolutely love both these figures, but I could see they're for everyone or not for everyone. There's probably a lesser amount of people that cross over to get both of them because not a ton of meat on the bone between these two if you already have the prior versions. But if you're one of those hardcores that want the G.I. Joe style, the old school style, man, this is for you all day long. And if I had to pick one style, I would probably pick the retro style just because it's so near and dear to my heart. It's so nostalgic. That's the way it's going to go for me. But still, at the end of the day, you can't go wrong. If you missed out on a prior Zartan, here's another chance for a Zartan. And Zartan, Storm Shadow, heavy hitter characters you got to have there on a pretty regular basis out there for new collectors, new people that are jumping in. Gives them another take at that. Makes it a little bit different, not to upset the people that had it before, or make them happy because they're getting a different one. I just think it is a good business model here. But bring on more characters. I'm all for repaints, but new characters is what me and probably you watching this, that's what we want. Bring on the Road Pig. Bring on the Monkey Wrench. Get me some of those deeper cut. Get me Zanzibar. Can I get Zanzibar? I'll take any Dreadnok at this point. But I'm all in on the Joes. You guys know that, and I think you guys are too. So let me know your thoughts on this Zartan down in the comments down below. Of course, don't forget to like this video. You made it this far, you might as well subscribe to the old YouTube channel. We got videos every single day, including everything and anything G.I. Joe, as you guys know. And don't forget about the Patreon channel. Best way to support the channel, early access to videos like this, bonus content, exclusive content, you name it. A lot going on every single day on the old Patreon channel. And best way to support the channel as well. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget to hit me up on social media, SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for the mighty Zartan, the master of disguise, I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.